Guys, for today's video, we're going to visit the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. This was the original site of King Solomon's temple before it was destroyed. Now it's Islam's third most holiest site. The Temple Mount is located in the old city of Jerusalem, which is situated in East Jerusalem. Jerusalem was separated into East and West Jerusalem. West is in Israel and East is in Palestine. But after the war of 1967, Israel is now in control of the whole of Jerusalem. Now this is the old city of Jerusalem here, located in East Jerusalem. And the city is surrounded by walls built during the Ottoman period. So located inside the old city of Jerusalem is the Temple Mount with the western wall, Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Built during Sultan Sulaiman's time, there are 8 gates entering this old city of Jerusalem. The 8 gates surrounding the city are the Jaffa Gate, the Zion Gate, the Dung Gate, the Golden Gate which is closed, St. Stephen's Gate, Herod's Gate, Damascus Gate and the New Gate. So for today, we are going to enter the old city through the Dung Gate to access the Temple Mount. There are 7 gates to enter the Temple Mount. 6 gates are for Muslims and 1 gate for non-Muslims. This gate, called the Gate of the Mosque, is the one which we will use to enter the Temple Mount today. Cheers! So our bus has now stopped at the entrance to the old city of Jerusalem, and we are going to get down and enter the city through the Dung Gate. So guys, we've just passed through the Dung Gate. Originally, it was just a small wicket gate built by Sulaiman the Magnificent. And yes, he is the Ottoman Sultan who built the walls around the old city of Jerusalem. After going through the Dung Gate to enter the old city of Jerusalem, you are now approaching the Temple Mount. And from the distance, you can see actually the gate of the mosque, minaret, and the dome of the Al-Qibli Mosque, which is situated at the Temple Mount. And it's where we are heading to for our visit. The Temple Mount is also known as Al-Haram Al-Sharif. The meaning in English is the Noble Sanctuary. It's also called the Al-Aqsa Mosque Compound or simply Al-Aqsa Mosque. Meaning in Arabic is the furthest mosque or the most supreme or extreme mosque. The Al-Aqsa Mosque is the second oldest mosque in the world and the third holiest site in Islam. The courtyard can host more than 400,000 worshippers, making it one of the largest mosques in the world. So after passing through the Dung Gate, we have to walk up this wooden walkway to reach the entrance to the Temple Mount. And as we walk up this walkway, if you look on the left, you can see the area of the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall, the most sacred site in Judaism. The original temple here was King Solomon's temple. When it was destroyed, then King Herod built the second temple. The only surviving remnant of Herod's temple is this western wall. Interestingly, you can see how the women and men are separated when they pray at this western wall. So guys, this is a map of the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, also known as Al-Haram Al-Sharif, the Noble Sanctuary or the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. For today, we're going to enter the Moorish Gate over here. You can see the Islamic Museum from outside. Then we'll have a look at the Al-Buraq Mosque. And then we're going to explore the Al-Qibli Mosque, often mistaken for the Al-Aqsa Mosque. It's actually called Al-Qibli Mosque. And then we'll go and visit the Al-Musalla Al-Marwani Mosque over here before walking past the Al-Qas Ablution Fountain, going up the steps here to visit the Dome of the Rock and the Dome of the Chain. We will then go to the Eastern Arch Gate here. After going to the Eastern Arch Gateway, we'll walk and have a look at the Golden Gate and then have a look at the throne of Sulaiman before exiting the Masjid Al-Aqsa compound through the Gate of the Tribes. So after having ascended the wooden walkway, we are now entering the Temple Mount through the Moorish Gate here.
And you see the Moroccan gate? Yeah. This is only non-Muslims can enter.
So guys, you can see the Islamic Museum, the Morocco Gate from which we entered, and the Al-Buraq Mosque here. So the Morocco Gate is the only gate open for non-Muslims to enter the Temple Mount. According to Muslim tradition, the Al-Buraq Mosque is where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, tied his winged creature, the Al-Buraq, on arriving from Mecca to Jerusalem. This is an inside view of the Gate of Morocco minaret and the Islamic Museum here. Let us now visit the Masjid Al-Qibli. This mosque is named so because it faces directly towards the Qibla. Qibla is the direction to which Muslims face during their prayers. The Holy Kaaba and the Masjid Al-Qibli's front are in alignment with each other. In the year 638 BCE, Caliph Omar came to this spot after capturing Palestine, and he found the place full of rubbish. Caliph Omar himself started picking up the trash, and the fellow Muslims saw him and started doing so themselves. In order to regain the sanctity and purity of the place, Caliph Omar then ordered a wooden mosque to be built here. This mosque could seat 3,000 people. The wooden mosque was then replaced by this bricked up stone structure by Caliph Abdul al-Malik and completed by his son Al-Walid in the 8th century. The Masjid Al-Aqsa compound is very important in Islam because it is a place where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, ascended into heaven. This is the view inside the Masjid Al-Qibli. Now coming back to the Quran, the Isra and Miraj are two parts of a night journey that, according to Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, travelled from the great mosque in Mecca to the Al-Aqsa mosque at the Temple Mount before ascending into heaven. There are only two mosques mentioned in the Quran. If you look at Surah 17 of the Quran, this is what is mentioned. Glory be to the one who took his servant Muhammad by night from the sacred mosque to the furthest mosque whose surroundings we have blessed. The sacred mosque here refers to the great mosque in Mecca, and the furthest mosque refers to this Al-Aqsa mosque at Temple Mount. Our guide is telling us that there is a vast cavern beneath the Al-Qibli mosque, and this is the entrance to it. This underground basement cavern is commonly known as Al-Aqsa Al-Qadim, and down here there is a library with 130,000 manuscripts relating to Islam, plus places for worshippers to pray and rest. We are now going to visit the Al-Marwani Mosque. It's a massive subterranean hall located at the southeast corner of the Al-Aqsa Mosque complex. It extends over 4.5 acres and can cater for approximately 6,000 worshippers at once. After the renovations in 1996, it was named Al-Musalla Al-Marwani in honor of the Umayyad Caliph Marwan. This place was also known as Solomon's Stables because during the Crusader period they used this area as a stable for their horses. According to the Quran, it is said that Maryam, the mother of Isa or Jesus, lived in this subterranean cavern. After her birth, she was taken care of by her maternal uncle Zechariah. She stayed here. Maryam is the only woman named in the Quran, which refers to her 70 times. In fact, the Quran refers to Mary more than the Bible. Interestingly, in both the Quran and the Bible, it is mentioned that Mary was informed by the Archangel Gabriel that she was with child, despite the fact she was a virgin. However, it is only in the Quran where it is written that Mary actually lived in this Al-Musalla Al-Marwani cavern, and this is the room where she is supposed to have lived in. It is also mentioned in the Quran that when Mary lived here, when Zechariah came to visit her in the room, he found a lot of food and off-season fruits laid for her, and according to Mary, this food was from Allah. We are now heading towards the Dome of the Rock, and in doing so we are passing the Al-Kaas ablution fountain built by the Mamluks for ablution before entering the mosque.
The Kaab, it was built by the Mamluks for ablution area. Muslims, they need to have ablution outside and before going to the mosque.
The Dome of the Rock structure and ornamentation are rooted in the Byzantine architectural tradition. It was constructed in the 7th century and it represents the emergence of a distinct Islamic visual style. The dome, which is 20 meters in diameter, rises above a circle of 16 piers and columns. Although the mosaics are similar in structure found in Byzantine public buildings and churches, the Dome of the Rock's mosaics exclude any representations of human or animal forms, keeping in tradition with Islamic value. Arabic religious inscriptions run around the octagonal arcade. This Dome of the Chain, a smaller version of the Dome of the Rock, was also built in the 7th century by Caliph Abdul Malik. Interestingly, this Dome of the Chain marks the exact center point of the Masjid Al-Aqsa complex. According to Islamic tradition, the Dome of the Chain marks the place where the end of days and the large judgment will take place, with the chain allowing passage only to the just and stopping all the sinful. Just adjacent to the Dome of the Rock is the small building where Prophet Muhammad was supposed to pray before being ascended to heaven. This building is called the Dome of the Ascension, built probably by the Umayyads. It commemorates the Islamic prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's ascension into heaven, according to Islamic tradition. Let us now enter into the Dome of the Rock proper. The Dome of the Rock has great religious significance. For the Jews, it's supposed to be the place where God created the world, as well as the first human Adam. It is also the site where Abraham attempted to sacrifice his son Isaac. For Muslims, this is the place where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, ascended into heaven. So this is the interior of the Dome of the Rock. You can see those nice marble columns and tiles. This is a schematic cross-section of the Dome of the Rock. You can see the dome placed above the rock. And this is the rock from which the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was supposed to have ascended into heaven from. This is the interior view of the dome, which is situated above the rock. Now there is an opening below the rock, and there's the stairways going down to enter the small cavern below the rock, where is a special place for prayers, and this place is called the Well of Souls. During the Crusader period, this place was known to Christians as the Holy of Holies, referring to the inner sanctum of the former Jewish temple. For Muslims, this Well of Souls derives from the medieval Islamic legend that at this place the spirits of the dead can be heard awaiting Judgment Day. The space under the dome or the Well of Souls is very small, and only a few people can pray at one time at this place. We will now visit the Golden Gate and then followed by the Throne of Solomon before leaving the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. This Golden Gate, which we are going to see now, is closed from the outside, but from the inside is converted to a mosque. And both Christians and Muslims believe that Jesus, or Nabi Isa for the Muslims, will come through this doorway in the second coming.
Christians, they believe in the second coming of
from here?
Isa. He entered the first time when he came in the Palm Sunday. He entered here from this gate.
Oh, here?
This is a gate,
Sunday.
one of the gates, and they believe that he is going to come again and he enter.
Oh, from Palm Sunday he came this way?
This is the way.
So you can see the Golden Gate, the inside part of which is now converted into a mosque where Muslims pray, and the exterior of this gate is now closed, awaiting for the second coming of Jesus Christ or Nabi Isa. Now adjacent to the Golden Gate is the Throne of Sulaiman. Interestingly, for Jews and Christians, they believe that King Solomon was a great king, son of David, who built the first temple at the Temple Mount. But for Muslims, they believe that apart from being a great builder, he was also a great prophet. So according to the Quran, Solomon died while he was leaning upon his staff, and he remained standing propped up by it until a little creature, an ant or a worm, gnawed at the staff It gave way, only then did his body collapse. And as he remained upright, although dead, propped on the staff, all the jinns thought he was still alive and continued building his palace. So this throne of Solomon is most likely a memorial to the prophet Solomon or Sulaiman in Arabic. The building itself is clearly a mid-16th century building with two shallow domes upon the building. The hall in this building holds a symbolic tomb which might allude to the tomb of Sulaiman or his throne. The building is now used as an institute for hadith or teaching of Islam. So guys, now we are leaving the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound to the Gate of the Tribes. I hope you enjoyed this video on my trip to the Temple Mount. Stay tuned to the next video. Cheers.